Good afternoon, party leaders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. IPAC supports the conduct of Rivers State local government election scheduled to hold on Saturday, 5th of October 2024. IPAC also urges political parties to actively participate in the election, enjoin eligible voters to turn out in mass and vote for candidates of their choices. IPAC also demands free, fair, credible, peaceful, inclusive elections. IPAC urges the judiciary to be guided by the Constitution, rule of law, national interest in issuing the judiciary to be guided by the Constitution, rule of others, law, and national relating to elections to avoid truncating the nation's democracy. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this critical press conference as we strive to build an endurable democracy, strengthen democratic institutions, create an environment conducive for the conduct of credible elections, and ensure political stability and judicial reforms as court orders and judgment have far-reaching implications and consequences for the survival of democracy in Nigeria. As the umbrella body of all the registered political parties in Nigeria, IPAC is committed in deepening democracy and upholding democratic values, ethics and ideas in the quest for a better society. This is consistent with the aspirations of all lovers of democracy in Nigeria and globally. Nigerians are united in their desire to foster sustainable democracy and development and will resist any attempt to subvert, truncate, destabilize our hard-earned democracy. Gentlemen of the press, you are aware that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission have scheduled to conduct local government election in the state on Saturday, 5th October 2024, in all the 23 local government areas of the state. Political parties have since submitted their nomination forms and complied with the guidelines and regulations for the conduct of the election and assured it will be free, fair, credible, transparent, peaceful, and inclusive. Be assured that political parties and their candidates for the positions of chairman, deputy chairman, and councillors have prepared and are ready to participate in the election as scheduled. There is no going back in this critical exercise that will further deepen the nation's democracy at the grassroots levels. And consistent with the recent landmark ruling of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy meant to bring development and government to the grassroots. Election is the beauty of democracy, particularly at the third tier of government, which is nearest to the people. Local government election must be supported and encouraged by all lovers of representative governance in Nigeria. It is on this note that IPAC backs the Rivers State local government election and all other elections across the country within the ambit of the law. What the council strongly condemned was the high cost of nomination fees, which was aimed at excluding credible aspirants who could not afford the outrageous fees, as well as sudden change of electoral laws to undermine the national leadership of political parties and subvert the electoral process. We maintain that it is inappropriate to change the rule and the goalposts in the middle of the game and or take undue advantage against fellow contestants. For democracy to strive, there must be a level playing field for all parties and their candidates participating in the elections in Nigeria. Electoral integrity cannot be compromised for any reason or for no reason whatsoever. In the same way, elections cannot be stopped by judicial fiat in favor of political actors, jobbers, and hirelings in pursuit of their inordinate ambition. This is what truncated the June 12, 1993 presidential election, adjudged to be the freest election in the country, when some political clowns surreptitiously procured an order of the court to stop the much expected presidential election meant to usher in a democratic government after years of military rule. It was a dark period in the nation's history. It will be unfair, unjust, and unacceptable to repeat this national nightmare at the local government election level, as obtained in Rivers State, where some reactionary forces are bent on stopping the election stated for this weekend. Sadly, there have been conflicting court orders in support and against the local government election in the state, and forums shopping for desperate politicians to procure court orders that will subvert the nation's democracy. If this dangerous precedent is allowed, be assured that there will be no more elections in Nigeria, as failed politicians masquerading as Democrats will approach the court to procure orders to stop elections they are not prepared for. This must not be allowed to happen again after June 12, 1993 presidential election in peace. As a major stakeholder in the democratic process, IPAC will not fold its arms and allow political machines to trade away the nation's hard-earned democracy using the judiciary as a cover. By issuing conflicting orders and judgment, the judiciary has become a tool in the hands of powerful individuals to undermine our emerging constitutional rule. The integrity of the judiciary is at stake as a temple of justice and bastion of democracy. The Rivers State local government election presents another opportunity for the judiciary to purge itself of political influence and justify the confidence of Nigeria that Nigerians repose in it. Recall that a few weeks ago, concerned by recent development in the polity with regards to the role of judiciary in the democratic process, and with a clear understanding of the critical role of IPAC as the incubator of leadership within the executive and legislative arms across the 3 tiers of government, and to a large extent, the judiciary as it relates to the appointment of judges at all levels. The council thought it was necessary to convene a roundtable discussion among relevant stakeholders to explore the judiciary's role in consolidating democracy in Nigeria, identify challenges, and propose solutions to enhance the judiciary's effectiveness. Participants at the roundtable cut across stakeholders, including government officials, judicial officers, leaders of political parties, development partners, legal practitioners, civil society organizations, security agencies, academic researchers, and the media, etc., were unanimous that the judiciary must reinvent itself or be the ban of sustainable democracy in Nigeria. This is why IPAC calls on the new Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Chairman of National Judicial Council to thoroughly investigate and sanction erring judicial officers. This will go a long way to redeem the battered image of the judiciary in its handling of political matters, particularly elections at all levels. It is time for Nigerians to stand on the side of sustainable democracy. It is time to deepen democracy at all levels of government. Therefore, political parties in Nigeria will participate in the Rivers local government election on Saturday, on the 5th of October 2024. It is our civil right. Accordingly, IPAC call on the good people of Rivers to turn up en masse this Saturday and vote for the candidates of their choice. Again, Council urges the Inspector General of Police and the relevant security agencies to provide adequate security for the smooth conduct of the local government election in the state. It is time for stakeholders to demonstrate patriotism. It is time for all stakeholders and lovers of democracy to demonstrate that democracy have come to stay in Nigeria. We will keep watching watering the tree of democracy and deepening its root to yield its fruit to the long-suffering compatriots who desire and deserve dividends of democracy to cushion the effect of economic hardship the country is facing today. The will of the people as expressed in the ballot must be respected. All the states that are yet to conduct local government election should expedite action to do so within the ambit of the law. The era of caretaker committee to administer the affairs of local government in Nigeria is over. with the recent Supreme Court landmark judgment which granted financial autonomy to them. It must be noted that it is a Supreme Court judgment that has now accelerated the conduct of local government elections across the country, which some misguided politicians want to abort for personal aggrandizement. This will not happen under our watch. Finally, IPAC takes cognizance of the irregularities and malpractices that mar elections in Nigeria, particularly elections conducted by various state independent electoral commissions, SEC, and has severally called for their scrapping to enable the Independent Electoral Commission to conduct all local government elections. This will restore confidence and trust in the conduct of elections in Nigeria. IPAC is also going to review the process of all the local government elections so far conducted across the states in Nigeria. Finally, IPAC has presented its proposal to the National Assembly in its review of the Constitution and the Electoral Act and hopes that the National Assembly will do the needful. Ours is an emerging democracy. It will continue to deepen and will strengthen it. The Rivers State government, local government election this weekend is another step to fostering sustainable democracy and development in the country. It will hold by the grace of God. Thank you, the audience.
We believe in process. We believe in rule of law. As his party has taken 6 days to court, you heard the chairman when he said, we are going to review some of these elections conducted in some other states. But we must say it emphatically that the problem we are having today has to do with the judicial rascality and excesses of the judiciary. Court injunctions are pitched on the street, and that is not how it's supposed to be. Put the other party on notice, you discover that the man that came for injunction will run away. That is how you have seen court orders flying, do this, don't do that. You do this, don't do that. But there is a law that says you cannot stop an election pending the determination of the case. It is settled. So we cannot even stop any election. So the processes are there. If the law has said so, why are you jumping up and down on Photoshop? The new CJN said it aptly that she will deal with judges, cum lawyers whose duties are to go and procure black market injunctions. That's it. That's what they're talking about. We cannot continue in that manner. The judiciary should help us save this democracy. They should help us. They should not be looking towards those with deep pockets. That is what we are seeing today. Somebody will be boasting that he will get injunction. You see him get the injunction. Like what is happening in Federal High Court here in Abuja. Has the law not say you cannot stop an election? The law has said so. So if the election will go on, then you go to court and challenge it, even before the conduct of the election. So IPAC will revisit all those local government elections that have been done, whether they comply with the rules of engagement.